All right, so what is up, guys? We are going to start doing this little lecture thing, and it's basically going to be the relation between freezes into power. So basically, this is kind of going to be like a way for you to like look at a list and say like, oh, like if I want to get this power move, here are the supporting freezes I need or the main freezes I need. A lot of the times we want to get a power move, but then we don't have all the freezes down. Like, let's say I want to get windmills, but I don't have stab freeze down. It is possible to learn it without doing stab freeze, but learning stab freeze and shoulder freezes and all the other supporting freezes makes learning that move a lot easier. So this is gonna kind of be like a way that you can we can all work together to work on like putting the freezes and relating them to power moves, and then kind of creating a plan for yourself to work on like certain freezes if you want to move towards working on power. So here we have this right here. So this is the little spreadsheet I have, and basically we're going to list off all the freezes and the category and the power move, and then the freezes you'll need. So I know it's kind of unorganized, but you guys will kind of see what I mean in a second. But like let's just start with it's gonna be hard to kind of explain, and I'll be keeping an eye on the chat. So you guys, if you guys have anything like as we're going through power moves or freezes, feel free to drop it in the chat because I'll be looking and seeing if there's anything I'm missing. So like let's look at categories first. So like for example, when we're talking about stabs, we have Handglide in the front, baby freeze or side chair, and then we have air chair all the way in the back, but that's based off of stabs. So all of that's going to be grouped together in just stabs, for example. So like Nike freeze, pikes, like any like air freeze is just going to be based off handstand. So the category from top going down, we're going to put handstand. And then we have headstand, any head moves like head invert, head hollow. And then same thing with handstand, there's like invert, hollow back, Nike, all that stuff. Headstand, and then going down we have elbow, and then stab, shoulder, and then we can do press freezes. So this is like the categories that we have, right? And then if there's any other categories, I think, I mean, these are just general. We can always get more specific later. Can you guys see this all right? Should I zoom in more? I can zoom in more. All right, hopefully that's better. And then freezes, now we can get more specific, I guess. So let's get into, let's just write out the list of freezes. So we have, let's see, we have Nike, pike, hollow back, invert. Let's go, let's start naming freezes. Nike, pike, invert, hollow back, handstand, anything on the hands, any hand moves, like handstand based moves. I guess those go into like leg positions for handstand or Nike or pike. One hand stall, I don't really know. One hand stall. Anything else for hands before we move on to head freeze? Let's see. All right. Well, if there's any, we'll throw it in there. But next one will be headstand. So going down, head invert, head inverty, head hollow. What other head moves are there? Whatever. I don't really know. If you guys remember a head freeze, go ahead and put that in there. And then we'll do elbow freeze. So I think it's just elbow, like I don't know if there's like much like elbow variations, like there's elbow tip, but we'll just do elbow freeze for now. I think that's the most simple one. Stab, there's hang glide, the front stab, like right here. There's your baby freeze or side chair, and then I'll just group them together. Baby or side chair, and then you have chair all the way in the back, and then air chair, chair slash air chair. I group those together. as in like stab. Shoulder freeze. And then we have press freezes. Press freeze, we have tuck planche. We have L-sit. But I will drop this Google Doc in the after hours group after we're done, or I'll drop this link for the Google Docs in the description for the YouTube video. So that way you can check it out later. But as far as us working on it now, I'll just leave this here. So we have handstand based stuff. We have headstand based stuff, elbow, stabs, shoulder, and then presses. If there's any other freezes, like more like niche freezes or specific freezes, like not really like leg position, just like any, like basically like any arm position or something like that, feel free to drop it in the chat. Let's start listing off power moves. So power moves, there's what? Oh, Air Baby, yes, how could I forget? Let's go. That's gonna be some handstand based stuff. Power moves. Let's start with cricket. Jackhammer. Let's get real specific. Dark hammer. Turtles. I don't care. Windmills. Actually, before we do that, let's go UFO, windmill. We're not going to do windmill variations or any like leg switches or whatever. Just do windmill in general. Halo, shoulder, halo, all floats and jacks. Yeah, so we have UFO, windmill, or UFO is, these are the floats, right? And then windmill, halo, shoulder halo. Let's do air flare. Actually, let's go upward. Shoulder halo, flare, elbow, or let's do chair flare. Chair flare, elbow, track, air track. What else is there? 90s, 1990, 2000. Airtrack 1.5. I guess, but I think you have to work on like you have to have Airtrack and windmill anyways to do Airtrack 1.5. So we'll do circles 1.5. All right, no, not circles. Let's see. Anything else? Any other power moves that you guys are potentially interested in learning in later on? Feel free to drop it in the chat. I will add it to this column right here. So let's. I'm just gonna add this. Swipes, yes. How could I forget the continuous tapping air tracks? Yeah, let's keep them. Physics machine gun, that would be basically like handstand hollow back invert based. If you can do all those moves, you can do them. But I wouldn't consider it like a power move. Let's see. So I think we have majority of the power moves. Anything else before we move on? If you guys have any suggestions for power moves that you want to learn or anything like that. Shoulder spin. Spins. Icey Ice. Icey Ice. What are we forgetting, guys? Spins. Headspin. How am I forgetting all these? Because I don't do them. Headspin. Shoulder spin. Icey Ice. What else? Backspin. Do you really need a back freeze though? Yes, you do. All right. So what else? What other moves are we missing? I feel like there's a lot more, but pretty much these are all the moves that I do. And then everything else is kind of like irrelevant to me. But if you guys are interested in learning these, yeah, we're putting all these in because I mean, I do shoulder spin swipes, but hardly do these. Anything else? So what we're going to do is basically, let's, I don't really know. Maybe I'll do a little bit more than needed. Is it data validation? And then make it a list. So list from arrange, and we'll choose the freezes. Bam. Okay. Make it a drop-down menu. Let's go. All right, guys, we got a drop-down menu going. So let's do power move number 1, cricket. What is the main freeze you need for cricket? You need Handglide, right? What else do you need for cricket? You don't really need anything else, right? We're just doing Handglide, right? Just this right here. Jackhammer, same thing, Handglide. Dark hammer, Handglide. Turtle, Handglide. So anything else, basically all these freezes, you don't really need anything else. What do you guys think? Should these numbers right here are supporting freezes. So anything else that's supporting will be under the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just a quick breakdown. We have our freezes, our specific freezes, the category that they will be living in, the power move that we want, and then the main freeze that you need for the power move, and then the supporting freezes that you will need to help you when learning. So, do you guys think for these power moves, do we need anything? Handglide and stab. Oh, Handglide is the same as stab. Stab is just generally like anything to do with like all these, let's see. All these are considered stabs. Handglide, baby, chair, but it's just Handglide is more specifically towards the front. Yeah, exactly. UFO, let's say, I think you need tuck planche. I think that's pretty safe to say. If you can do a tuck planche, you kind of have a better grasp on UFOs, right? It will help you. Windmill, main freeze. This is going to be debatable depending on where you're starting from. You can either do Handglide, as most people start, or you can do shoulder freeze. So let's do, any stab. Let's do Handglide, and then we'll do supporting freeze as shoulder freeze. Do you think you need anything else for windmills? You want to do a head freeze as well, just to get on your head? What do you guys think? I can always remove it too. Icey Ice we have down here for windmill to turn over. Yeah, we have the Handglide, shoulder, headstand. Icey Ice we'll consider a power move, I guess. Do you guys think we need baby or side chair? What's the dolphin freeze? Oh, yeah, let me know if I'm missing anything in here. We have Handglide, shoulder freeze, headstand, and I only have headstand in there because when people want to go like using their heads, or like they'll do the tripod position in a headstand and then learn windmill like that. I kept headstand in there just in case, but I think the priority list will go down like this. Halo, definitely need chair or air chair, something along those lines just to start. And then you're gonna need Handglide, and then actually let me switch these. You're gonna need Handglide first and foremost. Actually, is it the main freeze though? What do you guys think? We'll do chair and air chair. Handglide is supporting, baby is supporting. You'll need headstand, and you'll need head invert. Do you guys think head invert? Yeah, I only have headstand in here, and I actually have slow-mo videos here. So if you guys want to watch slow motion windmills, so this one I don't have stab freezes in here. I don't do a stab, but you have your, let's see, you have shoulder, you have the other shoulder, but then in between those shoulders right here, like when I'm learning windmills, like most people start in the tripod position, so they'll have their head on the ground and then both their feet on the ground, and sometimes they'll practice it like that. You don't really need like a head freeze, but I just have it in there in case people want to like learn transitions or something like that. Never done a head invert for Halo. I only have for Halo, slow motion Halos. Let's see. Oops, crap. Slow motion Halos. Let's see. I think with slow motion Halos, like when I come up and I pick up, you don't really need it, but I would say it helps if you have it. You definitely need head freeze. And I only say head invert will help because once you like release your arm, like even if your both arms aren't on the ground, you're still like reaching over and pulling with the other arm. So I guess this will be like low priority, but you definitely need chair to some degree. You need at least baby inside chair, and then air chair will definitely help you. Chair and air chair will definitely help you. Headstand for sure, and then head invert as well. But you definitely need these three for sure, right? And then shoulder halo, obviously need shoulder freeze. We need headstand, and then I would say head invert helps because as soon as you pop up and like you reach over, you're basically opening out your chest as if you were doing a head invert. I have it right here too. You're picking up as if you're doing a head invert. So you go on your shoulder, you pick up, and then with this free arm, I reach out and open out like I'm doing a head invert kind of. Even though both my arms aren't on the ground. I don't know. What do you guys think? Definitely shoulder freeze again. Push up, open out this arm, that free arm, and reach. So, yeah, we'll put in head invert just for, I think it's better to have it, even if you don't explicitly use it, if you have that in there. And for flare, for sure tuck planche, supporting L-sit, and then everything else. It helps to have handstand. You don't really need it, but we'll put in handstand because when you're doing like slow motion, like I have flare to handstand, when you're trying to pick up from flare and you pick up to handstand, like this will definitely help you with height on your flare. So it'll just help with the transition. Even though you may not be doing transitions, but I think just to get up there, being able to like flare and then get high in the back, having handstand will definitely help. Pike freeze are very helpful, but very low priority. Oh yes, that's right. Let's put in pike. So a halo, you're gonna need pike. And then shoulder halo, you're gonna need pike as well, because when I'm here, and I'll go back to the halos too, but here I'm piking my legs over. My legs are piked. Let me get a better angle on this. Let me see. My legs are piked right here. So basically every time I kick, like I start here from the head, and then this leg comes around and kicks. Comes around and kicks into a pike freeze. So my legs are piked. So right before I pop off my shoulder, I'm in a pike freeze right here. This leg in front is kicking around and up, and then opening out into like a head invert type motion. So here, kicks around, and then comes around into a pike position right here. Same thing with halo. I don't think you can see it as well in this one, but it's going to be kind of like chair, like air chair pike. So air chair, if you have this pike position. So even if you do a hand pike, it's going to be the same leg position. So this right here, making a pike and then opening out. So yeah, it's more about the legs. So great observation. So like right here, I'm kind of piking, even though this pike is really, really poor. But let's see if I do one with the straight leg for once. Is it the first one? Yeah, like right here, my legs are piked in like this. Of course, the first one has to be good, right? So yeah, pike for sure, that's good. Flare, I don't really know if you need a pike for flare. Maybe later on, but if you're looking at the front, because even if you have your legs in the front, it's not really like a pike unless you're trying to do pike flares. But for sure, you're gonna need these three. So, all right, this section, everything here is where it gets interesting. So chair flare, you're gonna need air chair for sure. You're gonna need flare, so you're gonna need your tuck planche, your L-sit. Oh snap, you guys hear that thunder? Anyways, we need air chair for chair flare, tuck planche, L-sit, basically whatever you need for a flare, and then handstand. Do you guys see anything else we need for chair flare? Pike. I don't have slow motion chair flares on video, but you're going to start off in, I mean, having hand glide helps too. I mean, you should already have that in baby and side chair, but yeah, whatever. We'll put these in here. So you're going to go from baby or hand glide to baby, open out to air chair and push off, pike your legs in, and then reach over, and you're going to catch in like a handstand tuck planche type deal. You don't need air flare for chair flare, but I mean, it certainly helps. Elbow track, obviously, elbow. What other supporting? We need elbow Nike into elbow pike. And then handstand. Actually, let's do handstand first. That's elbow, handstand, Nike, pike. Yeah. Oh, you're questioning pike for chair flare? Because for chair flare, once you get into that air chair position, you want to pike. You want to kick into a pike. Elbow track, same thing. It's all about kicking into that pike motion. So as long as you have elbow, and then I mean handstand, like once you're catching. So your elbow catch, you may not be in a handstand, but maybe just for like a split second. Nike, pike. What else? Don't really think you need anything else, but let me know if you guys want to add in something else. Airtrack, you definitely need handstand. You don't need hollowback or invert. You need Nike. You need a pike. One hand stall will help, but you don't need it. And then I think that's it for Airtrack. 90s, you need handstand. You need Nike, and you need pike, because you know when you're looking at this right here, obviously you need the handstand. So picking up, you need to be in handstand to start your 90. Once you open out to 90 and start, you're going to want to be in this Nike position. And then pike, because this leg that you're kicking with, the same leg that's corresponding to your arm, will kick around your body and give you that momentum to kick more. Obviously, I'm not doing it now. It's lagging behind. But when you're trying to do multiple 90s or 2000, this leg is supposed to be crossing up. So again, flare. Hey, nice. So yeah, you want to be in a Nike position. So obviously you want handstand, Nike. And then this leg, to finish the 90, this back leg will come around and whip. So you're going to need a pike to some degree, even if you won't be doing like explicitly like a full pike, but just to have that familiarity with your legs. So same thing with this one, handstand, Nike, and pike. All right. Circles, for sure. Tuck planche, for sure. L-sit. Circles, I don't really think you need much more. Swipes, I will say handstand. And then I think maybe that's about it. What do you guys think? Nike, maybe? Yeah. I don't have slow motion swipes. I don't think anyone needs to see slow motion swipes. But basically like handstand, opening out to Nike, and then catching on that foot that's bent. Shoulder spin, you need a shoulder freeze, of course. You need pike to bring that leg in. I wish I had slow motion shoulder spins, but I don't. I have a lot of Instagram videos with shoulder spins. Icey Ice, you need a Handglide for sure, baby freeze, chair, air chair for sure. I mean, you should have Handglide, you should have baby freeze, and then from here you should have pike. I would actually say pike. I mean, you're kind of expected to have Handglide and stab and like side chair, but you're gonna be in chair, air chair, and then pike those legs. So you'll see it in Halo. My Halos a little bit maybe, just probably like even just like a tad bit. As soon as I catch in my stab, I'm doing Icey Ice right here. So Icey Ice dragging and then piking my legs as I drag. Oh, there we go. All right. So catch, and like you can either catch in a hang glide, a side chair, or an air chair, doesn't matter. But as I bring these legs around, I'm gonna pike, and then Icey Ice a little bit right here. So, what do you guys think? Swipes. Yeah, I mean swipes are definitely a good move. They're useful. You can change them up a lot, but I don't know. I just like to dog on swipes. Headspin, obviously. Headstand. What do you think would be supplemental to headspin? Head invert, head hollow. Does it help to have those? What do you guys think? Okay, head invert, head hollow, it is. So these will help. So basically everything here means you don't need it, but it helps, right? There's supporting freezes. Backspin, obviously there's a back freeze, which everyone does when they're born, but we're gonna do shoulder freeze. And the reason why I say shoulder freeze is because that go down from either hang glide, and I guess I could put hang glide too, because how are you gonna get into your backspin, right? You go from shoulder and kick into backspin, or you go from stab, whip into backspin, right? So those are your ways into backspin. So like if you look at here, even though these are windmills, let's look at this go down. Let's see. So here, this whip to shoulder freeze, and obviously I go to windmills, but if you want to go to backspin, this is the same setup, right? So the middle back freeze. I remember it was like called a candle freeze, but I wouldn't even acknowledge it. Is that messed up? So so yeah, for sure, shoulder and hang glide just so you could get into that backspin. I mean, backspin will have its own like set of nuances, but it's something you can just keep drilling and you get better at it. You're not really dependent on getting a certain freeze down. Like no matter how much you practice that back freeze, it doesn't make your backspin better unless you just practice the backspin using like that shoulder coin drop, or from hang glide, or from your shoulder like in your coin drop. So these will be the main tools that you'll need to get that backspin good, if that makes sense. Basically, if you have good windmill, you can start a backspin. So does anybody disagree with anything in this list, or is this pretty generally good? So basically, it's to say like, okay, if I want shoulder halo, I need to work on shoulder freeze, headstand, head invert, and pike. These are the moves that you don't need them, absolutely, but I mean, you need shoulder freeze, and then these moves will help. So let's, oh, it's raining pretty hard. Let's go back to this. And then let's choose, let's see if this works. Let's choose halo. Hey, okay, nice. And then you need your main freeze right here. Let me make this font centered. And then can I vertically center this, vertical alignment in the middle? And then can I make this, let's do 20, oh wait, we can go way bigger. 36. We going up, we have more, let's do 60. Actually, let me do a 2-word. What's the longest one we have? Shoulder halo. Oh yeah, okay, let's bring this back down. Let's do like 50. 40. Sorry guys, I should have had this formatting down, but do you need stab or hang glide for UFO? UFO, you don't need it, but it definitely helps. So let's do that. Handglide, where is it? Am I tripping? Oh, Handglide. Yeah, and I guess it'll help to have LSIT. So if we go to UFO, you'll have your main freeze right here, tuck blanch, and then your supporting freeze. And let's make this look a little bit prettier. Let's do this blue that everyone uses at work. Cornflower blue. God, that's such an ugly color. No. You know what? We're just going to leave it white for now. So we have our power move. We choose UFO. It'll give you your main freeze that you need to practice, and then your hand glide, your LSIT. So thank you, Daniel. I appreciate it. I'm going to move. Actually, no. Let me just hide all these. So does anybody have any objections with these right here? The way this is. So I'm going to hide these. How do I hide? Okay, there you go. So now we're left with this bad boy right here. And then we can zoom in because whatever. All right, so we have the power move that we want. And we'll just go through the list. Why not? We'll start with cricket. It's raining really hard. We'll start with cricket just so, you know, if you're watching this video and you don't have access to this Google Drive because it gets deprecated or something like that, it'll all be here. So you can always refer back to this video for the lists. But like I said, these aren't like maybe the main freeze you'll absolutely need, but the supporting freezes, remember, they're just supporting freezes. So you don't absolutely need them, but they definitely help to learn. And just because you get the freezes doesn't mean you'll get the power move. You have to work on the power move by itself. It just helps to know the freezes. So cricket, main freeze you'll need is hand glide, jackhammer, hand glide, dark hammer, hand glide, same thing, turtle, hand glide. UFO, you'll need tuck planche for sure, and then your hand glide and LSIT. So I was going to put a category next to it, like your press, and then stab, but I don't really know how critical that is for you guys because you guys can already just see, like, do you guys hear the thunder? You guys can already see this, like the moves you have to work on. So UFO, and then, or where do we leave off? There's windmill. You need your hand glide for sure, shoulder freeze, and headstand. And these are kind of interchangeable depending on how you're starting your windmill, but eventually you're going to have to get all of these anyways. So I would say actually the most important one is shoulder freeze, because if you can get by without hand glide, that's fine. You can learn windmill with no hands or something like that, but you absolutely need to use your shoulders. And then we have halo, which main freeze is baby or side chair, which is your side stab. You don't need your air chair all the way in the back, but it's helpful. Same thing with hand glide. Headstand and head invert, it's a little bit debatable. You don't need like a good head invert or anything like that, but just being able to reach and open out that chest as soon as you like throw that halo and reach for the floor on the other side, you're going to need that head invert just to open out that chest. Yeah, it's raining really hard. It's like pitch black outside. Anyways, and then you also need a pike for your legs. As you kick, you're going to fold those legs into a pike right before you throw. And then we're moving on to flare. So flare is a power move. Here's the list of freezes you'll need. You'll need tuck planche, and then supporting freezes, LSIT, and handstand. So you don't actually need these like I've been saying before, but it definitely helps, especially like if you took my press workshop. You have your tuck planche and LSIT and how it relates to your flare and how it can help your flare. Same thing with handstand. It'll just help you get higher in the back if you're more familiar with it. So moving on to, what is it, shoulder halo. So shoulder halo, you need shoulder freeze. Absolutely need shoulder freeze. And then a headstand, head invert, just like halo. You don't need to hold them like for that long at all. You just pop up on your head invert so you can reach out with that chest to catch the floor on the other side. Pike is as you're kicking to push off the shoulder. You're going to be doing that. So actually, you know what? Let's go back to windmill and I'll show you where you're going to need this. So hand glide, obviously you're not going to see it, but shoulder and headstand, you'll see slow motion windmills. So let's go back here. watch this. So you would need Handglide here if you're starting, right? But since these are, man, this is an old video, but you're gonna need shoulder freeze as I go down. So let's go back again. Right here, shoulder freeze, 1 on one side, shoulder freeze on the other side, and then head freeze. Obviously you're not gonna be like straight up on your head, but if you're learning how to do windmills and you don't know how to use your head, I mean, learning head freeze will just get you used to being up there. And if you want to learn transitions like windmill to headspin or windmill high rise, you're gonna have to learn head freeze anyways. So it's just for like, it'll help you in the long run. And then back to shoulder, other shoulder right here, and then head. So I think you guys get the idea. Let's move on to halo because I have it here. So you need this baby side chair, and I think in my slow motion halos, I don't use Handglide or chair or air chair, but it helps to have them. And then like what we talked about earlier, I'll show you guys slow motion halos. So we're here, catch, and I catch in like a baby side chair. And I guess this is kind of like a Handglide, opening out to a baby slash side chair. And then by the time I pike, so I have a pike here that I need, by the time I open out, I'm kind of already in air chair position. Like I'm already letting go of that stab from the back. And then here, I'm pretty much in head freeze right here. And then this free arm is reaching around to grab the ground as if I'm doing a head invert, even though I'm not doing an explicit head invert. So there you go. Halo, and then shoulder halo. And I just have videos of like whatever I have already in slow motion. And then everything else, if I don't have it, I'll just talk about it. So main freeze, you'll need shoulder freeze for shoulder halo, obviously. So you need shoulder freeze. You need to have it down packed. Supporting freezes, same exact thing as halo. So shoulder halos. You have your shoulder freeze that you have right here, and you absolutely need it. You're gonna pick up into a pike position with those legs, pick up, pop up on your head. Why is my neck curved? But it doesn't matter, whatever, I'm still alive. So you need head freeze, and then your arms are gonna reach out like you're doing a head invert, even if they don't touch the floor. It's not a prerequisite, but you should probably learn halo before shoulder halo. It's honestly like learning a different move. I would consider them, like, even though they feel similar, like learning them is kind of different because like you're not used to pushing off your shoulder like you are in your stab, so it just feels like way different. You need head freeze. I go all the way up on my head for shoulder halos. Catch that shoulder again. Pike, pick up. Why is my neck bent? Why do I do this? And then reach over like you're doing a head invert, picking up to head freeze, and then you guys get the idea. Yeah, I'm still alive. We out here. We live in. All right, so yeah, I think you guys get the idea for shoulder halo. Let's move on to flare, my favorite. So tuck planche, L-sit, handstand. We'll do the first one as regular flares, so slow motion flares. You guys may or may not have seen this video. I think this probably was one of the most views on my channel, but you're gonna need L-sit because you come out here. You don't need L-sit. Oh my God, look at my face. My hair is so long. I look like an old school like gangster with my hair like flicked back like that, even though it's not meant to be like that. Anyways, you have L-sit position here, and let me pause it because I both my hands on the ground, my hips in front. Even though like my hips are way high, it's not really. It doesn't look anything like an L-sit. Still helps to be in this position. I was trying to point at the screen as if you guys can see what I'm pointing at, but I have both my hands here, shoulder width apart, just like an L-sit. And then I come back around and I'm pretty much in a planche position right here. And tuck planche, arm shoulder width apart. Not really curling my back in, but I'm leaning forward. And so yeah, this is kind of like the planche or tuck planche position. I can't talk. Position that will help. Yeah, when I'm so the thing is for me, like, I worked on pushing my hips out a lot later, so I had flares, and I'll show you guys, like, maybe after this, I'll go and show you guys my old footage of like my flares, and you'll see that I didn't have my hips were like really closed in, but then I didn't work on pushing them out until I had multiple flares. But regardless, yeah, this is a tuck planche position or planche position. And then for handstand, you're going to need that to help for your flare because even if you won't be going from flare to 90, it definitely helps to pick up in the back once you're familiar with handstand. So I'm familiar with handstand, so I can pick up higher in the back, and it just gets me more familiar with being in that range of height, if that makes sense. So there it is for flare. Pretty straightforward. You have your L-sit for the front, tuck planche or planche for the back, handstand also for the back as you come back up. Let's go to elbow track. I don't have slow motion of elbow track. So elbow track, definitely need your elbow freeze, obviously. Supporting freezes, handstand. So even though you won't be explicitly using handstand per se, it definitely helps. So if you're going from elbow, switching to the other side, that transition handstand will definitely help. And then just being able to hold a handstand, being used to being upside down like that, definitely helps. Elbow, you're going to need Nike and pike. So just like the halo, you're going to be kicking over with those legs. So I'm on my elbow freeze. I kick open with my legs in a Nike and then close it into pike right before I kick. So you're going to need these for the leg positions. And then we'll move on to what's next? Chair flare. Did I do chair flare? No. And then so chair flare, you're going to need chair or air chair. You're going to be stabbing all the way in the back. And like I've seen people do their chair flare like doing from a Handglide, but I mean I think it's in the name. So it is possible to do it from Handglide or side chair, but best thing to do is from air chair. But you want to be in Handglide and then rotate your body over until your legs are piked, which is what I have down here. And then you're going to push off, catch on the ground. Basically, you're going to kind of be in a handstand / tuck planche once you catch it, or like the back of a flare. And I don't have footage of chair flare, but then you just have it like an L-sit as if you're doing a flare. That's if you want to continue like chair flare to flare or something like that. So you probably don't really need the L-sit that as much, but everything else is pretty necessary for sure. Let's see. We did that. Okay, Airtrack. All right, so Airtrack, definitely need handstands, right? So if you can't handstand, don't even bother trying Airtrack. Get a good handstand first. Make sure you can hold it. Make sure you don't walk. Make sure your legs, you can do whatever leg position you want. And then once you get that, make sure you can walk it and then stop, walk it and stop, walk it and turn, stop, walk it, turn. Like you can do all these drills with your handstand. That's how good you have to have your handstand. And then you obviously have to have Nike because you're going to be in handstand. You open out to Nike, and then you open out to pike, and then you throw. So the legs are the same as a halo. And let me see if I have. Let me just look. Eugene. So Airtrack. Let's see what this do. Well, will I be able to pause it? So handstand, you need it. Oh my gosh, you can't even see. Okay, maybe the lighting will be better on this. So let me go back. So you need handstand. Oh my gosh, I can't even pause. So I'm gonna go handstand to Nike to pike and then toss. I wish I could. Oh, actually, wait. I'm a genius. Guys, I'm not a boomer. All right, let's go. There we go. Let's go. All right. So handstand, and then, well. So handstand, Nike, pike, throw. All right, so not a boomer. Let's go. All right. So for Airtrack, you're here, handstand, you need that. And then Nike, so as I lift this arm up, I'm in Nike position. Oh my gosh, why are the frames so bad on this? Handstand, Nike, pike, throw. handstand, Nike, pike, toss. Handstand, Nike, pike, toss. Handstand, Nike, pike. That's a flare. All right, so you guys get the idea. So let me move this back to normal before I forget. And then, so that's Airtrack. So handstand, Nike, pike, throw. You don't need a one-hand stall, but it helps. We did, okay, 90s. Obviously, need handstand, Nike and pike. I'll say for Nike and pike, you need a Nike because as soon as you come up for that 90, and I'll just do it from this flare video because I don't have a slow motion 90. So I'm in this Nike position. So actually when I flare, let me do this. So flare, you're gonna need handstand. As soon as I let go of this arm right here, this leg is gonna bend. I'm gonna pull out with this leg in a Nike position. And then if I wanna continue the 90, this leg right here has to come around and essentially pike, but I'm not gonna go into a pike, like a full pike, but just being able to pull, I'm trying to point at the screen, just being able to pull this leg in will help you pike, if that makes sense. Or will help you 90, sorry. So being able to pike that leg, help you 90 or continue. 2000s, same thing, handstand, Nike, pike. And I only say that because, let me see if there's a slow motion 2000 video since we have time. Slow motion 2000 B-boy, please. Let's see. So you're gonna need handstand for sure. She whips in with the Nike right here. So even though she's not in handstand yet or doing a Nike, being able to have this right here and then this leg is gonna kick in and then close. Let's see if there's another one. Oh, I'm on the top. Nice. All right, let's look at slow motion. Is there slow motion 1990? Yes, there we go. Let's see. What does this look like? Hopefully this guy's good. So you need handstand for sure. Nike legs. Yeah, so this is the Korean 90s, but he has a Nike freeze. So if this leg was straight, similar to a Nike, and he's pulling out, and then you can see, oh wait, oh, it's a slow motion video. I don't know why I'm pausing. So here, have that Nike, this leg is gonna whip, and it's gonna pull open like a Nike position. And once he's finishing out, this leg that's back here, this straight leg, it's gonna cross over as he finishes into a pike. So he's here in a Nike position, even though this leg is bent. And then he brings this leg and starts to cross it over in a pike position right here. It's a very slight pike position, but yeah. Korean 90s are where your legs are in that, like, I don't know, that figure four shape. And he does it here, like this right here. Because this is the leg formation. Because the end and all the Korean b-boys did it like that. So I call it Korean 90. But yeah, so that's 90s, 2000s. Handstand, Nike, pike, I think they're all essential at some point in there. Circles, tuck planche, L-sit. I don't really think there's much explanation needed for that. Circles are the closed-legged flares that gymnasts do. If you have tuck planche, it helps. If you have L-sit, it helps. Swipes, handstand, and Nike. Let me see if there's slow motion swipes. Let's see, Danny Prince. Let's go. Please. Wait, why is this video just not playing? So for swipes, I have handstand and I have Nike, only because even though he's not in a full handstand, it definitely helps as you hop over to get into a handstand position. So this is kind of like a tuck planche / handstand position. I guess it's like debatable, but you definitely don't want to be low as low as you are in a tuck planche, right? You want to be higher in a handstand. So that's why I have handstand in there, because you want to aim to have your hips higher. So here is kind of like your handstand, and then your Nike is going to be this leg for him is bent, and then this one will straighten out once he turns around. So he plants his foot and he is in a Nike position right here. So his legs, and let me see if I can do it with a better angle. So as soon as he puts that foot down, this leg, he'll be in a Nike position right here. And that makes sense. So even though it's not exactly what you need, like verbatim, but it definitely helps to be familiar with that position. We did circles, we did swipe, shoulder spin. You need shoulder freeze, you need pike. So let me get, I hope they have, best shoulder spin ever. Check this out. Oh gosh. Beautiful. I haven't even watched it yet, but I know it's beautiful. Shoulder spin. So you need shoulder freeze and you need pike. And you can already see where you need the pike. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Even if his legs are crunched, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. See, his legs are piked here, and this is like mashed potato quality, but you can see his legs are piked. Let me go. 27 rounds. Are you joking? Let's go. His legs will be piked right here. Oh my gosh. I can't even pause on a frame. His legs are piked. And even though his legs are bent, his knees are brought into his chest as if he's doing a pike. Elbow spin will be similar to 90. Oh my gosh. Amazing. That's so beautiful. So you definitely need a shoulder freeze for this, obviously. And then pike. Also Nike works too, but pike will definitely pull those legs in for you. Oh my gosh. That's so beautiful. Man, those are the days. Anyways, back to this. Shoulder spin, so you need those. We did swipes, Icey Ice. Chair, air chair. You'll need pike, so similar to the shoulder spin. It's going to be the same thing except you're in a chair freeze. So instead of your shoulder and head on the ground, it's going to be your hand in a stab and then your head on the ground. Same mechanics, but you're going to be in a chair, air chair. Handglide and baby / side chair is just, you know, like if you know how to chair, you should be able to hang glide and baby and side chair. And a lot of people will get into it, like the halo or windmill, catch in a hang glide and then open out and then start opening out from chair and then spinning. And then pike, same reason as shoulder spin, just bringing that leg in, and then also kind of just same thing as like these right here. And obviously I can find a better clip of just Icey Ice, but just this drag right here. So you catch, you can either catch in a hang glide, a stab, side chair, and then go to air chair, and then start the Icey Ice, even though I pop it up into halo. So stabbing close to the back now in the air chair, piking my legs, and then, yeah, there you go. So chair, air chair, hang glide, and baby and side chair just to transition, and then pike. So these are the supporting ones you'll need, and then chair and air chair. And then head spin, obviously you need headstand. Head invert, head hollow, you don't need them, but definitely helps with balance and just opening out that chest as you toss around. And then you have backspin, which we went over before. Shoulder and hang glide. You don't need, you need them to practice backspin. Backspin, I don't want to say back freeze because everyone in the world was born in a back freeze. But shoulder and hang glide will help you get into it. So if you start your windmills, or I guess your backspin from a hang glide from windmill start and you pull, like get a good hang glide. If you start from just laying on your back and just kicking into it, then get a good shoulder freeze. So for example, slow motion windmills, this intro right here, Obviously I go to windmills, but you can do the same thing into backspin. This go down, you need a shoulder freeze right here. But if you're starting from a windmill get down, you can also do it from stab, from hand glide. So this, you could be going to backspin right here, but you know, for these I do windmills. So definitely have a good shoulder freeze and hand glide. Yeah, so for Superman windmills, it's not really so much like a belly freeze. It's more like you're just kind of crossing your chest a little bit, or I guess your upper abdomen, I guess, abdominals. But it's not really like a freeze that you can just sit in just to practice, because like you have so much momentum going forward that you can't, like, if you just try and lay on your belly, that's ideally not where you're supposed to be anyways. So, but that's like a windmill variation. But even if you want to get Superman or belly mills, you're going to need your shoulder freezes regardless. So, yeah, that's why I didn't really put in windmill variations, because there's a lot of like nuances to it. But bread and butter, you're going to need hand glide, or you're going to need shoulder freeze for sure. And I should have put that up here, but yeah, that is about it for all this list. And again, let me just unhide all these so you can see. Here's the list of things we had. And maybe I could just do, whatever. I'll just, should I? Let's do it. Hand, 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 head, 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 elbow, stab, 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 shoulder, press, press, press. All right, and category, oh my gosh. And then we'll just delete this column because we haven't used it. And then we'll move over here to this, and then we'll do if error, and then VLOOKUP this value in the space of these right here, A and B, and then we'll do column number 2 and make sure it's an exact match. And then if error, all right, cool, yeah, whatever. Stab, and then we'll go all the way down until I forgot how many it goes down to, but so these are the categories that you'll need. So should I even label it? So yeah, your main freeze. I should have put it on this side. Dang it. It's okay, whatever. You guys get the idea. Ooh, but yeah, here's the flow chart for everything. Actually, this is bothering me. Let me just copy this, escape, place it here, paste, bam, and then just paste this here, and then just drag this all the way down, so that way it doesn't bother me anymore. And I can just delete it. So yeah, this will be, let me hide all this now. You guys see, this is where all the flow chart lies, I guess. And then how do I hide it? Hide columns. And then so every time you choose something, like let's choose Halo, it'll give you, oh my gosh, I need to delete these. All right, it'll give you the main freeze that you need, the supporting freezes. Can I move this? Can I make this wider? There we go. Supporting freezes, and then the category. So you can kind of see like, okay, I need to definitely work on my stab. Even if I don't work on air chair specifically, I can work on any sort of stab freeze. This will eventually help me get Halo. And then head freeze. So if I work on my stab freeze and head freezes, this will definitely help me along, like, you know, if I want to get a power move. So looking at it from a broader perspective, and let me go to something with a lot. Let's do chair flare. So this has a lot. So like, let's say I want to get chair flare. So what does an improvement plan to get there look like for me? Usually you go to practice and you're like, oh, I want to learn chair flare. You just practice the move, which is probably the best way to actually get the move, just practicing the move by itself. But if you don't have the freezes down, it's like, okay, what freeze do I work on? And then you spend the whole practice working on just one freeze. That's like, and let's say it's tuck planche, and you work on tuck planche, and it doesn't get you anywhere because in actuality, you need a chair freeze or air chair. So I hope you guys, and I'll put this, I don't know, I hope you guys can't edit this, but I'll put this in the chat. Actually, I don't know if that was a good idea, because now you guys can change this category right here. But do whatever you want. I'll put it in the After Hours group, and then you can download it if you want. You can have your own version. If you find a freeze or a power move that you want to make or like put in there, go ahead and do that in your downloaded version. So yeah, maybe I can make like this cell changeable or something like that. But anyways, looking at it from a big picture, it's like, okay, like if I want to get windmills, just like a very beginner, people be like, oh, learn a Handglide or whatever, or learn head freeze or whatever, but they won't, like a lot of people overlook your shoulder freeze, right? Like learning windmill by learning both sides of shoulder freeze. So this kind of gives you a breakdown of like, what power move do I want to learn? And then like, what are the freezes I need to get there? So I hope this breaks things up for you well enough. So like, let's say I want elbow track. I need elbow freeze. Oh my God, this is going to bother me. Sorry guys, I'm OCD. Unhide. Why is this not capital? Sorry. Hide. There we go, capital hand. Okay, so if I work on, I can work on elbow freeze, I can work on handstand, Nike, pike, right? Whoops. Handstand, Nike, or pike. But let's say I'm not even at the point to be doing pike. I'm just learning Nike. But it fits within this category. So if I get better at my Nike, which is a hand freeze, eventually I'll work towards pike. And this will help me with my elbow track if I want that, right? If I want to learn shoulder halo, like here's the main freeze I need, shoulder freeze. And then if I work a lot on my head freezes, shoulder freeze or shoulder halo will be a little bit easier. So yes, so I said this in the beginning, and I think it was before you showed up, Trouble Lock, but getting the freezes does not mean you'll get the power move. You have to work on the power move yourself, but learning the freezes will definitely help you create checkpoints along the way when learning these power moves. So basically, like the way I taught Wang halos was, let me actually go to halo, was by doing a hand glide or baby or stab, popping up into a head invert, or a Hong 10 freeze actually. Hong 10 freeze, popping up to head invert, and then pulling and catching back into a baby freeze. So he used this freeze right here. I mean, he kind of used these in a way, and this is more like a Hong 10 freeze. You're still stabbing in the back, so the arm position is what matters. So he used this, or I guess headstand too, into these two. And then now he's working on bringing that leg over and piking it. So these are, even though it may not seem like these are the freezes, like I have to learn this, they're kind of like checkpoints, right? So I'm learning, like Wang is starting from baby or side chair, picking up into headstand or head invert. First I had him pick up to headstand, and that's like a checkpoint, right? Picking up to head invert, or from Hong 10 to head invert, that's a checkpoint. So if you have the freezes, it'll definitely help you. But that is pretty much it. The whole premise of this is to create a improvement plan for you guys to get power moves, right? Like, it's one thing to just practice the power move, and I think that's the best way to do it, is just do the power move. But if you don't have some of the supporting freezes, it could actually help you out a lot in the long run anyways. So just because I learn head invert because I want to learn halo, learning head invert could help me get get shoulder halos too, So, and then I just have the category here for you guys to see what the main base of this is. So like, flare is press based, Airtrack is handstand based, halo and shoulder halo are actually, it's more like head based. You're only tapping off your shoulder or your stab or whatever, right? You're only tapping off this and then going on your head. So it's like stab, pushing onto your head, back to stab. So how many kicking patterns are there? There's one kicking pattern, and I guess I have like a general power move workshop that I go over. But whatever leg, for me, is my right leg. You have a kicking leg, and then you have a leading leg, which is my opposite leg. But halo and windmill, same kicking pattern. So I'll show you right here. So for windmills, this leg is my power leg, where all my power is generated. This leg is my leading leg. So everything, wherever this leg travels, this leg will follow. And if I have a good direction with this leg and this leg guides me or leads me in the right direction, then this one, all I have to do with this leg is just kick to follow this leg. So whatever this line, this leg is drawing, this leg will follow with power, right? Same thing. Maybe I don't fold my hips in as much as I do with halo, but same principle. So halo. This leg is my power leg. This leg is my leading leg. This leg, wherever this leg goes, it'll pull me. This leg hits that same spot, adds power, catch, pull, kick with power, pull. So this leg will always pull me in the direction I want to go. This one will kick. So every power move is the same as far as like kicking patterns. You have your one power leg where you generate your power and one leading leg that takes you wherever you need to go. And then air flare, same thing. Let's go back to 25%. Let's go here. Why not? So this leg right here is my power leg. This one is my leading leg. So wherever this leg goes, this leg will follow. And as soon as you see me falling or falling into flare, it's because this leading leg stops leading properly. So here, lead, this one will follow, kick will lead you, and all the power for me comes from this leg. And then this one stops leading, it goes lower, and I fall. Same thing here. Power leg, leading leg. This one on the bottom generates the power as it comes up, and that's where I fall because the leading leg stops leading. So let's see. I think this is probably one of my best clips. It gets better, but yeah, my power leg, my leading leg goes on top first, power leg follows on top. Leading leg picks up again on top, power leg pops up on top following. So yeah, it's gonna be at that same angle. So good observation. So it's gonna be at this angle right here. So this leg is gonna be at the same angle with my body. So I'm gonna try to keep my leading leg at this same angle as best as I can. And that's me pulling my leading leg in. So this position will be locked the whole time. And the reason why the leg is the same, or the kicking pattern is the same, is because like when you do like halos, this leg is piked in right here, this angle. Or actually, let me keep playing it. So keep in mind this angle right here. When you look at windmills, it's going to be this angle right here. This angle right here should be the same as the halo right here. Let me see if I'm in the right direction. Yeah, so just keep that same angle with your body at all times. Same thing with shoulder halo. So if I go back, this angle right here will be the same as the halo and windmill. God, my neck. What am I doing? Good thing I'm alive. Over here, this angle, keep it here. Same thing with Airtrack. You'll see that angle. So I'll go back. So this leg will have an angle with my body until I fall. Once it breaks it, that's when I stop doing the Airtrack. And then here, let's see. So it'll be this left leg right here. It'll be at an angle with my body right here. Maintain this angle. Continue, maintain this angle. Maintain this angle. And maintain the same angle. Once it breaks, then that's when I fall, if that makes sense. Same thing with flares, but flares is a little bit different. What makes flares unique and a lot, I think, difficult for most people is that you have to continually switch. So I keep this angle right here with my body, but then once I get to the other side, I have to make that same angle with my body and this leg right here. So I have to do it on both sides, opposed to like doing windmill, halo, Airtrack. I have one leg, that leading leg is always at that angle, but this, for flare, you have to be switching your leading leg at all times. So now this is my kicking leg as I kick forward, and I'm keeping that angle. So keep this angle, this leg kicks forward. Now, once I get to this point, this leg has to maintain the angle with my body while this leg kicks backwards. So this leg kicks backwards, and I maintain that angle. So maintain the angle, switch angles, kick this leg forward, maintain that angle, switch angles, and then this leg kicks backward. So that leg that I kept at an angle here, as soon as I cross it and switch angles, this leg has to kick back. The leading leg switches into that power leg, depending on which direction you're going, forward or backward. So UFO, it's the same thing. So, oops. So UFO, you're gonna need press freezes, right? But this is my leading leg, so even if my leg's not straight and is bent, between my knee and my hips, it's gonna be at this same angle. And this is my leading leg, this is my power leg. This power leg is sweeping across the floor, while this leg is pulling me. I'm feeling like a tension right here. I feel like I'm trying to fold my knee into my chest or into my side. So I'm really working that oblique. This is pulling, keeping the same angle right here. But this leg is no longer generating power. So that's the difference. This leg only generates power in the first swing. So that's the difference between floats. So this leg will only generate power one time, and that's the first swing. It's not going to generate power again. This leg that's leading will continue to lead as long as you pull it in and maintain this angle right here. So important. So, yeah. Quick power 101, I guess, as far as the legs go. For flares, it's so hard for me to kick my second leg flare back. First kick makes... I think once I get into like a flare workshop or a flare breakdown, I can explain it better. But basically you have to pull this, as you come back, you have to pull this leg up as much as you can to give yourself as much clearance, because this leg is going to buy you time. So if this leg is higher up, this leg will buy you as much time as you need to kick this leg back. If this leg's not high and it falls, that's when you fall and you do like that, like you fall on your side. So once this leg is pulled in as much as you can, as best you can, it gives you, one, it gives you room, and then two, it gives you time. So that's when you have to pull this leg back. And when you pull this leg back, you have to whip it back as much as you did kicking outward that first time. So, and then also I forgot to mention, same thing with 90s and 2000s, the start at least. It's going to be similar to UFO, but upside down. So that power leg is, this leg is my power leg where I generate the power if I want to continue the 90, but I keep this same angle right here in a Nike freeze doing a 90. So I start the 90 and I'm going to keep this angle right here. Bam. Keep this angle, maintain that angle. This leg should kick in, even though in this video it doesn't. But this is my power leg, this is my leading leg. Wherever this leg goes, this leg will follow. So, yeah, that is the quick power breakdown, and I can go more in depth if you guys are interested in that. Let me know if you guys are interested in that in the comments or in the chat, whatever. So like, let's say we work on that shoulder to headstand transition. You know, like in our stream, we work on shoulder popping up to headstand, and then from headstand to head invert, and then head invert back into shoulder freeze. That's a shoulder halo. You go from shoulder, pop up to head, open out to head invert, catch, pull back into shoulder freeze. So if you watch the old stream that we do shoulder to headstand, we're kind of already working on shoulder halo in a sense. So as soon as I'm working on these freezes, not only does it help me with the power move, but just transitioning between the freezes, just doing shoulder to headstand and then headstand to head invert, stuff like that. Stuff like that is definitely going to help. If you do headstand and I say like, oh, play around with your legs or whatever, if you do a headstand and then head invert and then do a pike, it's going to help you with finding that leg position for shoulder halo. So yeah, I hope this helps you guys. I'm going to be posting it in the description or in the After Hours group. I'll do a downloadable version so you guys can check it out and edit it. But yes, practicing freezes is a way more approachable way to tackle power. Leading leg will pull every time you mess up. All right, if your power leg doesn't kick all the way, then you can recover from it by just resetting and kicking again. If your leading leg falls, then you're gonna fall. So let's say because if your power leg always follows your leading leg, if your leading leg drops, your power leg is gonna drop after it, if that makes sense. So leading leg for sure will throw you off balance. Awesome. Looks like we had, I hope it was educational for you guys. Let me know if it helped, because like I know it's just me talking and it's me doing an Excel spreadsheet, but like I hope this helps you guys with like your approach, basically creating like an improvement plan for you guys if you want to like eventually work on power, but you don't have the freezes or you don't know what to work on. I just hope this helps you guys. I know like it's just a lot of spreadsheet work and stuff like that. Yeah, hopefully this creates an improvement plan for you guys, so where you can look at these moves and they're not so intimidating. You know, you can break down any move from this list into freezes and then approach it like in a more strategic way or a more practical way, where you can look at like shoulder halo and it's like, oh, you know, I have head invert and I have head freeze and I have shoulder freeze, you know, like maybe I can break this down a little bit more practically. And then that way, maybe shoulder halo doesn't seem as daunting as it did before, you know? So I really hope this helps you guys out in the long run. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. My handle is right here. You can also ask to join the After Hours group, which is a private group that I have where people post their footage, and whatever, like whatever they're working on or a challenge or anything that I post. And yeah, it's private, so people won't see it. And well, people in the group will see it, but people publicly won't see it. If you're interested in joining that, feel free to message me on Facebook or Instagram. You give me a follow on Instagram or Twitch. Tag me in your posts, your stories. Love to see the progress. If you haven't followed me on Twitch or subscribed, please do so. It helps me out a lot. And if you know someone stuck in quarantine or feel like this stream will help someone out, feel free to share this link with them. And if there are no more questions, I will see you guys later. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m. I forgot to mention, yes, Thursday, Friday, we'll be doing normal streams, so stretches and freezes tomorrow and the day after. So yeah. All right. So yeah, tomorrow, 7 p.m., regular stream, and then Friday also regular stream. So with this in mind, everything we went over today, like, and if you're watching this later, whenever we practice or whenever you practice, and for those in the stream, as we do these combos, like 2-move combos, 3-move combos in the workouts, keep in mind, like, oh, there's like a power move I want to work on, like halo. So if we're working on stab to head, like this is going to help me. Shoulder to head freeze, this is going to help me with shoulder halo, something like that. Tuck planche will help me with flare, you know? So just keep that in mind next time we stream, next time you practice, and I really hope it helps. So if there are no more questions, I will see you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m. All right, peace.